Welcome to Nameless Debate Radio, where radioactivity is contagious. You can join us in broadening our minds on the Nameless Debates Discord via the link below, and even feature here yourself, if you've got what it takes.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, just give your position a little bit of a restate there.
No, I don't really have a position. I was just.
I know.
My original question was.
Huh?
I was just listening to you. I was to you and the Indian guy.
Yeah, but you made a claim
Who the
about
fuck is
infinity.
the Indian guy?
That would be you, I think.
Motherfucker.
I was just listening. That's why I said, like, what infinity were you referring to? That's all.
But I happen to know that that mathematicians use the word infinity to refer to something which is real. But I'm saying that doesn't make sense as a label. I don't use it because it doesn't make sense, and nobody should.
I mean, I guess.
That was fast.
I know, right? What do you mean move across to Colosseum Achilles? God. It's an instant concession.
I guess so.
So, what do you think about? Can you conceive God? God.
Yeah, I mean, I can conceive of what other people mean when they say God. I think of God as unnecessary, though.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, I think that the universe makes sense without needing a creator.
So the universe was already here without a creator? Like it just
pretty much,
was already
yeah.
existent?
Yeah, it's necessarily existent, correct.
Why?
Because it not existing.
Why?
Yeah, because it not existing is impossible.
Do you believe that something has always existed?
Correct.
Do you believe that nothing can produce its... Like, we can't get something from nothing?
I think you can't have nothing.
I'm saying, can nothing produce...
It doesn't need to. You don't need to get something from nothing. Nothing ever needs to produce something because nothingness isn't possible.
Does nothing produce something, though? That's what I'm asking.
No.
There is no nothing.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
then.
no such thing.
Okay, so that means that something has always existed?
That's correct. I said that before.
Okay. And and what I would think that if something has always existed, but you're basically, this is not my argument. I've presented this to a lot of people. There's two premises that you just agreed to. That something always exists, and we can't get something from nothing. Therefore, we can conclude that the universe has not always existed, and something has always existed to put it in place. I mean, that's. I mean, you would need proof to show that the universe is always.
I mean,
existed.
you're making an implicit supposition about the Big Bang being a beginning, though.
I mean, everyone agrees that it had a
point.
No,
I don't agree, dude. I don't agree.
What? Then the Big Bang? Like, how did it happen? Then, what's your point?
The Big Bang wasn't a beginning of physics. Physics has always existed.
Of the Big Bang theory.
No. The Big Bang theory is the beginning of the timeline represented by the physical system, but the physical system was always there. No, the timeline always existed. The timeline think of a video file on your computer. The timeline may have a beginning, but when you start to play the video on a video on your computer, right? When you start to play it, it doesn't start existing when you start to play it, does it?
A video doesn't start existing?
Yeah, like the beginning of the video is not the beginning of the existence of the video, surely.
No, surely, but someone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No. Just think about the video, right? I'm saying that, yes, there was a beginning to the timeline. Like in the video, there's a beginning that you can play from, but the video itself existed without needing a creator.
No, someone made that video.
That's a supposition. That's a supposition. You are making a supposition.
If you're saying that something has always existed,
that's correct.
And you're saying, okay, so how can you're just saying that something has always existed, the universe had, but the universe had a beginning? It doesn't make sense.
You're cutting out.
I said you agreed that something has always existed.
Correct. Yes.
And nothing can produce something. Therefore,
no. I agreed that nothingness cannot produce anything. Let's be clear about that.
then we can something can just randomly to existence without cause.
Because all of the things that are possible always exist.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. Everything that's logically possible always exists.
Give me an example.
Data matrix, bro. It's data matrix.
Think of like a multiverse of logical potential, right? All of the logical possibilities exist in a multiverse of logical potential. Do you agree to that?
Okay.
Oh, don't say okay, dude.
I'm listening.
It's so disingenuous. I know, but it means that you're implying that you don't accept it, but you're just giving it to me so we can reason. But I don't accept that. Either you agree with my proposition or you don't.
I mean, don't give me a two-way dilemma. I mean, just go home.
I mean, it is a dichotomy. It's called the law of excluded middle. Either it's true or it's not.
I mean, go ahead. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, so multiverse of
being
all
unsure
things
is an
that
intellectual
are
position, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, for sure. Anyway, so there's a multiverse of all things that are logically possible. Therefore, all things that are logically possible exist in that multiverse, and none of them have to come to be.
Yo, is there a multiverse of illogical possibilities?
Something has always existed.
Correct.
But that existence is God.
No. Wrong. Dead fucking wrong.
I mean, it makes logical sense.
No, it doesn't make logical sense.
It does make logical sense.
There is a superior logical explanation.
I have a question for InSync, please.
It's that God isn't necessary to create things if they always...
If the universe exists...
Dude, stop talking over me, alright?
Therefore God exists.
If things necessarily exist of their own accord, God is unnecessary, and the principle of parsimony would suggest that we abandon the hypothesis.
For that to exist, for something to exist out of necessity, is because God put it there. Like, we needed an intelligent design.
Correct. It is there out of necessity because it has a definition which cannot be false. No, God is not necessary.
He is necessary.
He isn't necessary. That is your own personal. That is a supposition of your own.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yes. My conclusion is not a supposition. It's a conclusion.
No theist, an atheist, or agnostics both have faith in their beliefs. Like there's nothing.
Actually, no. I deductively demonstrate the truth of my premise.
Guys, decorum.
There is no empirical data or any scientific article that you can pull up online to tell me that God exists. Do
you know what abductive reasoning is? Do you know what abductive reasoning is?
Yes.
What is it?
And we use it.
Tell me, what is it? Tell me, what is it?
Hold on, let me finish. And we use it.
I don't care what you do with it. Follow my
so why are you talking to me then?
Follow my line of questions.
When we use it to prove the existence of God.
I don't even believe that you know what it is. Prove that you do.
We use it to prove the existence of God.
Stop fucking talking about what you use it for. Tell me what it is.
We use it to prove the existence of God.
Whatever, dude. What the fuck ever. I don't believe you. I don't believe you know what it is.
You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me.
It looks to me like you don't know what it is.
Do you realize that I just used deductive reasoning to? I gave you 4 premises.
I said abductive, you wanker.
I just used it.
A-B-D-U-C. A-B-D-U-C. Abductive, you fucking moron.
I just used it to give you. I gave you 4 premises.
Are you listening to this guy?
I just gave you 4 premises.
I didn't say deductive, you fucking idiot.
You said deductive reasoning, and I gave you 4
premises. No, I didn't, you fucking moron. Listen more carefully. I gave you 4 premises, and you agreed. I didn't.
Disagree with
Someone else, please tell him I didn't say deductive.
I heard abductive. We can now go on.
Yes, it was abductive.
I heard deductive. Maybe you have a
dick in your abductive, you fucking moron. Listen, A-B-D-U-C. Abductive.
I don't know if you were gargling on a dick. Abductive.
Like do you know what it is?
Yeah, it sounded like a D though when you said it.
What is it? What's abductive? Tell me.
It's how we. It's for scientific research. It's a course that we use.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's fucking not. You clearly don't know what you are.
Yeah, it is. It's for determining scientific research.
Why don't you tell me how it works then?
Are we disagreeing with that? It's a form of logic that guesses the theories.
No. It's
that guesses theories that instead of observations.
Hey. This argument has turned into who knows the definition of abductive reasoning.
Yeah, I feel
know,
like
it
that's a
doesn't even make
relatively
sense.
easy thing to establish, right?
And I just told him what it is, and he's saying that it's not true.
So what was it you said, sorry?
I said that we use it in the course of scientific research, and it's a form of logic that guesses at theories to explain a set of
Guesses at
observations.
theories. What do you mean guesses at theories?
I mean, it's a guess. It's not true. It's nothing concrete.
All
It's a
theories
guess.
are guesses. What do you mean it's a guess?
It's like everything you told me was a guess.
Of
Nothing
course,
is true. Nothing is true.
All theories are guesses. I'm asking, how is this type of reasoning different from other types of reasoning?
I don't know. I mean, there's deductive.
I know you don't know. That's pretty fucking clear.
There's abductive. There's deductive. I mean, there's different.
Yes, there are. That's correct. There are three types of reasoning: abductive, deductive, and inductive. Listen. I can tell you what all of them mean. It's clear to me that you do not actually know what
I just used it in my first premise. I gave you.
You used it incorrectly. You couldn't tell me what differentiated.
No, I didn't. You agreed. No, I did not.
You gave me a partial answer. You couldn't tell me what differentiated.
I said, do you agree that something exists? And you said yes.
Oh,
and I said,
God.
I said, can nothing come from something? You said, no, it cannot.
That's not abductive reasoning.
That's deductive reasoning, you fucking idiot.
Wait, so you're referring back to deductive again? Because you clearly don't know what abductive is.
That's what I said the first time.
I know. You're returning to your comfort zone.
That's what I said the first time.
You do not
That's
know
what I fucking used. And you just said that I didn't. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God.
Like, do you have short-term memory loss? You're retarded.
Dude, I'm pretty sure everybody listening knows that
I just said it the first time, and then you said I did.
Equivocated.
And as I said again, you can't disprove, or I can't prove the existence of God.
You equivocated.
You can't.
You equivocated.
You can't.
You equivocated.
You can't.
You're a fucking idiot, man.
Can you? I mean, can you? Can you disprove the existence of God?
Do you know what an equivocation is?
Because if you can disprove the existence of God,
do you know what an equivocation is?
Hey, King Williams. It's not good. You're shifting the burden of proof. You're trying to pretend.
Oh no, I would agree. Okay, I would agree. You're right. I have to.
No. I'm asking you a simple question.
That's a true statement. That the burden of proof is on the believer. I would agree.
Jeez.
And I'm going to be honest. I cannot give you empirical data to say, here, look, God exists.
Hey, can someone ask him if he knows what the fallacy of equivocation means?
I can't do that. But what I would say is that atheist or agnostic, whatever you are, you have the burden of justification. If you claim that God doesn't exist, you can prove that. Or you have to justify your statement.
Terrence, please, save me.
Dude, okay. How do you distinguish your God from fiction? And just deal with that first.
How do I what?
How do you distinguish your God from fiction?
I mean, I don't like to use the Bible. I don't like to use the Bible to argue the existence of God. I would say that biblically speaking, like the God and the Christian God, he fulfilled some of the and I would say that the mythological gods have not.
I mean, the Christian God is a mythological God. Not
we would base it off of historical evidence, archaeological evidence, scientific evidence, like the
anthropological evidence, for instance.
The document of the Bible can be, I mean, for an atheist, it can be used as a historical document.
No, did you know?
You don't want to look at it as
did you know?
As
in anthropology, we have found that the Bible is just a mythological document. Did you know that?
How so? Prove it to me.
Okay, structurally, it's consistent with every other mythological document we've ever discovered.
That's not true. Give me an example.
That is true.
I've heard this argument before so many.
Okay, easy. It makes suppositions about reality which cannot be demonstrated. You're going to name me some
type of gods that their story is aligned with the Jesus?
No, I'm saying mythology is defined by claims about reality which cannot be substantiated.
Okay, I would agree.
Yeah, so insofar as the Bible makes claims about reality which cannot be substantiated, it's mythology.
As far as what?
I just told you.
No, give me an example though. Like what doesn't claim that can be proven true?
claims that the flood happened, which is in direct contradiction with archaeological evidence.
I mean, it's proof that it actually did happen. There's evidence.
No, what the fuck are you saying?
There is evidence for that.
There is archaeological evidence, and a lot of it that it did not happen.
There is evidence for that. There is
There
evidence
is
for
a
that.
lot of geological and archaeological evidence that it did not happen.
There's a lot of evidence that suggests that it did happen.
I don't think you know what evidence means.
It is. I do know what evidence means.
I don't know, man.
Prove
It is.
Prove the flood happened.
I can't prove it. Personally, I can't prove it, but I can present to you the evidence.
Yeah, let's see it. Present the evidence.
I can present to you.
And if you fail to convince us, then what? Are we unreasonable?
No, you don't have to believe it. No, I wouldn't say that.
But like a reasonable person would, right?
Let me see. Prove the. Let me see.
No, but like I think my argument is like
with believing.
Dude, I think that we've straightforwardly demonstrated that you can't have a coherent argument with him. So let's just follow it down where it goes.
I mean, you were the one screaming. You were the one screaming.
Dude, that's because you refuse to answer questions.
You have a mental problem. Like something is really wrong mentally.
Dude, listen. If you cooperate with me, then I have a dialectic.
Like you were angry, screaming, and then you argued. Like, come on now. You've been arguing over definition before I even spoke.
Let me do it like this. Instead of screaming, I'm just going to mute you when I want to talk, so you can't talk.
Go ahead, please don't, because you're a retard.
The reason that I got quite frustrated with you is that you systematically refuse to answer any of my questions. I repeatedly ask you a question, and you repeatedly refuse to answer it. Did you know that is actually not good form?
Like, do you rage over everything?
I don't think you're aware that that's just not good form.
I mean, do you get angry over everything?
I get angry over dickheads wasting my time.
You must get angry over everything.
No, over dickheads who are wasting my time. Yeah, I get angry.
I can't imagine how you are in your day-to-day life. You get mad over Discord. You must have like.
Hey, that isn't helping anything.
I mean, it's kind of sad.
It's not helping.
It's relatively pathetic shit, but you know.
I mean, it is, but it's kind of sad to me.
Yeah, your conduct is kind of sad to me, dude.
It's really sad. My conduct
I'm
is kind of sad.
happy to agree on one thing.
Yeah. If we agree on anything, it's that the other person's being a wanker.
The epistemology of God, like the epistemology you have to believe in a God is futile.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's futile. It's weak, bro. Evolve.
I mean,
weak ass shit.
And the disbelief in the God.
What does epistemology mean?
It goes both ways.
What does epistemology mean?
It does go both ways.
King Williams, what does epistemology mean?
It does, because I'm trying to say, like, your belief in a God is based off of faith.
So what does epistemology mean?
I'm not sure.
Oh, there we go.
How can you?
That doesn't mean you're right.
Dude, what it does mean is that even if you don't even know what the subject of epistemology
is, where are you trying to get at? Because I said I don't know. I'm being honest. Does that mean you're right?
Oh, I'm gonna have to mute you.
Please mute me.
Yeah, I will, dude.
Yeah, you're an.
I think that categorically it's pretty fair to say that if the other person who you're talking to doesn't even know what epistemology is, the chances that they're going to validly justify their opinion is relatively low, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. He shouldn't make an argument on epistemology if he...
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Please unmute him.
There you go, man. He can speak.
Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't prove that you're...
It doesn't have to prove it. I don't give a shit about proving.
I mean, I said I don't know. Like, what is that supposed to mean?
No, but that's exactly it. That's
why it's accurate.
Yeah, it kind of tricks you.
I just said that I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
If you don't know, then why do you claim your God exists?
What do you mean? Why am I playing? I'm not saying that.
Why do you claim it?
I'm not saying that God, like I said earlier, I'm not saying I can get empirical data to say.
No, but you are saying that God exists. Do you understand?
How did you come to that?
So let me put it to you this way, man. Okay, if you do not understand what epistemology is, you are not qualified to say that anything is true. You don't know what that means.
Then explain it to me. What does it mean?
Epistemology is the theory of knowledge, justification, and the rationality of belief.
Isn't that what theists do?
Yeah, they don't do it very well. That's why philosophers have come up with epistemology.
I mean, isn't that what theists do? Like William Lane
dumbasses,
Craig,
yes.
James White.
Yes, like
Few of them.
dumbasses. Yeah.
I mean, that's based off your own opinion.
Of course, but
Doesn't
like
prove anything.
I've listened to these people speak. They're not compelling, and they're not compelling for a reason.
And the other side isn't compelling, which is why they're still theists.
Oh, dude, just yesterday I saw a fucking video of William Lane Craig in a debate with I don't know who it was, but the other guy who was there was talking about how he thought reality was actually just an AI or something. It's like a really smart computer. And it was just pathetic, man. William Lane Craig's objections were repeatedly more and more pathetic because every time he made an objection, the other guy just said, yeah, but I can just say this instead. I can just say that instead.
I mean, I haven't watched that particular debate, but...
Of course, but I'm just saying, like, he doesn't have...
I would say that it goes both ways.
I don't think so, man. Philosophers tend to have more well-justified...
He debated what's his name?
Are you giving credulence to William Lane Craig? William Lane Craig.
He debated. Yes. No, I'm just saying that he said epistemology.
It doesn't go both ways.
He's one of the dumbest debaters in the
world.
world.
So stupid.
And other people would think he's pretty smart. I mean, it goes both ways.
No, he has polished rhetoric. He's not particularly smart. Yeah,
I guess. I mean, that's your opinion.
No, let's agree about it, right? He has polished rhetoric. He's not that bright.
Would you debate him?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a serious question. Would you debate him?
Yes, I would fucking destroy him in a debate, I'm sure.
I love this.
Divine command theory, dude, that's pathetic.
I mean, I guess according to you...
Yeah, according to most atheists.
Well, yeah, obviously, that's why you're an atheist.
No, being an atheist says nothing about your inherent belief on divine command theory.
Atheists, they say they lack a belief. They don't really have any. They say to them it's not a. To them, it's not a.
Exactly.
It's not a point. It's nothing. It doesn't matter.
Yes, that's my point. That's my point.
It's not about believing. It's about seeing.
Which in itself is not logical. I don't think.
I mean, you think that it's not logical to say, I checked for the evidence for X claim being true, and there isn't any, therefore it's probably false.
I would say that it's not a logical position. I would take agnosticism as more...
Most atheists are agnostic.
That's a cop-out,
I'm not sure if you realize
that. I would say that, I would agree.
Seriously, no, pretty much every atheist is agnostic, because if you're not agnostic, you're called an anti-theist.
I would say that I would agree. Like, if you're unsure, that's more position that I would agree with.
All atheists who are educated are, tacitly unsure. They all say that.
I haven't met many.
Everyone is, dude. You haven't met smart people in your life?
I haven't met many smart atheists that say that. Many atheists that I've spoken to.
Well, let me put it to you like this, man.
Hold on, let me finish. I'm saying that many atheists that I've spoken to have told me that God doesn't exist.
That's because that's what they think is true.
That's
I'm sure if you ask
but rather than someone saying that I am unsure that God exists.
No. I can say God does not exist without being certain of it. Do you realize that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. And if you pressed them on whether or not they were certain, they would admit that they were not.
Of course, that's no my
absolute
point.
Certainty.
That's what an agnostic is. An agnostic is someone who admits that they're not certain when you ask them, but in the first sense, they're an atheist because they don't accept your proposition.
Someone, if you, like you said, if you, Mike keeps cutting out. If you squeeze them in the conversation long, and they come out to say at the end that I'm unsure, that's what I would agree with. Rather than you saying
you don't have to squeeze them for long, dude.
I have 100% certainty that God does not exist, which you don't.
Nobody says that.
I mean, I've
literally never met anybody who said that.
I have.
I don't know, man. Maybe you got them incorrectly.
No, maybe they got it incorrect.
No, maybe you misinterpreted them is what I meant.
No, if someone says that God doesn't exist, simply, and I ask, are you sure? Yes, God doesn't exist, and I mean...
No, I mean, most people who would say that, what they mean is that they're very, very confident.
Well, they're not articulating it well.
Yes,
I get something else.
Maybe it's their fault, maybe it's your fault, you know, probably a bit of both. The point is that pretty much every educated atheist will tell you that they're not sure.
And that's something I agree with.
Yeah, but the thing is that even being unsure, I can say God does not exist.
I mean, if that's what you believe.
It's a probabilistic claim.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you believe, yeah.
Well, like, it's
not
in my
what
opinion.
he believes.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is objectively true that God probably does not exist.
I don't think so.
Well, I know, but the point is that you haven't got any evidence to that effect.
Of course, I don't, and I told you that I don't have any.
If you did, no, but if you did have
evidence against that, there's no evidence against him.
Incorrect. An absence of evidence is evidence of absence.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It
The
is.
only
Though.
evidence
If
is not evidence of
Proving a
absence.
negative, you need no proof.
I'm not willing to put forward the proposition that he necessarily does not exist, but what I am willing to say is I looked for the evidence. I didn't find any. We've never found any. Therefore, he's probably not there.
Where? I think if you were to prove
in history,
I'm going to say this. I think if you were to
searched
prove
my phenomenological experience, for instance.
if you were to prove that God exists, I think you would have to be God yourself to do that, or the same.
I don't think you're listening, man.
I think you do.
I don't think you're listening.
I am listening to you. You said that you didn't.
I don't know.
You looked in history. You weren't able.
I also said that I examined my phenomenological experiences.
And somehow God's nature is supposed to come to you to prove that.
Okay. Let me see how clearly I can illustrate it to you. Okay, so have you ever heard of Russell's teapot?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so could you tell me what it is?
I've heard of it. I don't recall though.
Okay, so you don't know what it is.
I said I've heard of it. I don't recall.
All right. So basically, what it is it's this idea that I don't remember what planet it is. We'll say Mars, just for the purposes of this example. There's a teapot orbiting Mars, a cosmic teapot, right? And I'm saying that it's there. What do you think? Do you think it's there?
This is something about burden of proof or something like that.
I'm just saying, like, there's a cosmic teapot, right? It's orbiting Mars, and we can't check. Is it there?
Yeah, I have heard this. There's something about
Is it there?
There's another argument about an ice cream factory in Jupiter.
There?
Yes, but what is your opinion?
I don't know.
What is your opinion, though? We're not asking what you know. Is
it there or not?
Yeah, correct.
I'm unsure.
No, I know you're unsure. I didn't ask whether you were sure. I asked.
That's my answer.
No. I asked, what do you think? Perform an evaluation.
Is it there?
Yes.
I don't know.
I know you don't know. Don't repeat yourself.
I'm going to say it again if you ask again.
No, but you're being a dumbass. I already got that. I
don't know. It's not being a dumbass. I don't know.
It is being a dumbass. I already got that piece of information.
I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
Then why don't you say I don't know when it comes to God? Why don't you say I don't know when it comes
when it comes to God? The reason why I believe in God is because of the logical arguments, the biblical prophecies.
There are no logical arguments for God.
Terrence,
yes, there is.
Hey, Terrence,
oh my God, yes, there's like 40 of them. Yeah, there is.
Do you think that teapot is there?
There's like 40 different arguments.
Shut the fuck up for a second. Terrence, do you think the teapot's there?
Why are you so mad?
Because you keep talking over other people.
Damn. You don't have a brain aneurysm.
Okay, so Terrence, you said no, right? You don't think the teapot's there?
No.
I believe in the teapot.
You do? You just
Are you talking about the teapot in like the Kuiper Belt?
I'm talking about, Russell's teapot.
I would say no.
Yeah, right? Why do you say no, Terrence? Is it because we don't have evidence?
Because you sound like a Bible thumper. I would say you sound like a Bible thumper.
No, come on. Let's make it more technical. Is it because I don't have any evidence?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if, for instance, you and I sent 100 probes to Mars that sat there for a year each looking for this teapot and they hadn't found it, wouldn't that strengthen our case against the existence of the teapot?
Kinda, or you'll be like the teapot is being elusive with its
Yeah,
mysterious
of course. But like, if you've looked for evidence and you haven't found any, then that's a stronger indication than not having found any, but you haven't looked, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much what I'm saying, mate, is historically, like for millennia, humans have been looking for evidence of God. We've never found any, ever. So he probably doesn't exist.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much the line of reasoning, mate. Of course, that's directed at King Williams, because I know you, Terence, do understand that.
Yeah, I just played devil's advocate.
Yeah. Nothing else to say, King Williams? Sad. It's a sad day. Crying face.
This is futile. God is illogical. It's impossible.
But he says he has logical arguments for God.
He said that
he's
there aren't
wrong.
any of them, in fact.
The Kalam
If he was
cosmological
actually the rightest thing he could ever say in this,
Most correct.
to say it's illogical.
I mean, I don't actually think it is illogical. It's just improbable.
Going off Kierkegaard.
insane. Why don't you think there are illogical multiverses?
Because they're not possible. Like, they're not logically possible.
You can't comprehend it. That doesn't mean it's
No. I'm
logic.
saying, like, according to whatever rules there are, things that are outside of those rules don't exist.
What if there's an exception?
Then the rules incorporate that exception, right? If there's an exception, then the rules allow it. So you haven't actually said that there's an exception. Like there cannot be an exception because any exception...
No, I had to run outside really quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to leave. It's a Saturday.
What'd you say, Terence?
What the fuck does that mean, like running out really quick?
Oh,
What?
he had to like
I
sprint
had
outside.
to like physically get up from my bed. Like I had to walk outside.
You guys do that? You guys still do
Who
that?
the fuck goes outside, man? That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I got a car too. Yeah, I gotta
That's
You
Gotta
got
go.
a fucking car, dude? No
I
way.
gotta put a key in my car and turn it. Yeah, turn the ignition.
That's some
That's
fucking
gay,
old
bro.
ass shit.
No, but the everything you said, I wouldn't disagree with. Like people who are skeptical about God, like it's warranted. I mean,
I mean,
wouldn't
it's not
disagree with
just
that.
warranted, okay? Like, thinking that God probably doesn't exist is the most reasonable conclusion.
I don't think so. And to the
Well,
Indian guy,
I mean,
to the wait, hold on. Let me say this to the Indian guy. There are logical
I'm
arguments
not
for the existence of
Indian, you
God.
fucking faggot. I'll sell you on eBay, bro. I'm not Indian.
You'll sell me on eBay, probably. You'll call my house. Scam.
No, send me your picture. Send me your picture.
To my my Discord, to my girlfriend and I.
No, send me your picture so that I can sell you on eBay. They'll call you their
Just click my profile and then you can down.
Really, bro? Are you gonna sell anybody on eBay?
I want it to be consensual.
Consensual.
I thought
No,
you
but
loved it when it
there
wasn't
are
consensual.
arguments for. My mics keep fucking cutting out. For
Yo,
the existence of God that you could look up online.
Cosmological argument is correct.
Yeah, dude, we've looked them up.
So why did you say that there doesn't exist any?
Because they're not good. They're not convincing. They are not compelling. They're not logically valid. Shall I go on?
Like what? Which one exactly?
They're not logical.
Any of them. None of them are deductively valid.
Have you seen the argument from beauty?
Cosmological.
There's argument from beauty, argument from consciousness.
Argument. Wait a minute. Are you talking about Plato's argument about the forms, which has nothing to do with God?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, you said an argument from beauty, but I don't think you understand what an argument from beauty means.
I do.
Well, what does it mean? Why don't you tell me?
It says that it's the elegance of the law of physics.
That's not an
and
argument.
Elegance of the law of mathematics. Huh?
That's not an argument from beauty. That's
is.
That's an argument from order, mate.
That's the argument from beauty. It says that.
No, it's not. When you're saying something's elegant, you're saying it has an order.
Can I finish? I'm not finished. It says the elegance from the law of physics, the elegance from the law of mathematics, which are abstract, have empirically proven to be useful, and it's evident of a creator.
What is elegance?
The beauty of it.
No, that's not correct. No.
That's the argument.
That's not what elegance is.
It doesn't verify a creator, bro. That's just stupid.
It's saying that because how I guess a creator is warranted. Like only a creator could have made it.
Hey, have you ever considered that maybe if you used your words properly, you wouldn't come to that conclusion?
These are not my words.
I know, but you used
These
the word
are not my
elegant.
words. I'm not presenting this argument.
Stop. I asked you to define elegance, and you said beautiful. That's just fucking wrong.
Something that's beautiful?
Yes, elegance is not something that's beautiful. That's what the word beautiful means. We have the different word elegant for something
you don't use beautiful. The hell?
Elegant does not mean beautiful. Look it up in a fucking dictionary.
I'm gonna look it up for you and give you an exact.
Christ.
An exact. You just said beauty.
I know what it means.
Could something be elegant and not beautiful at the same time?
Yes. It says refinement, grace, and
elegance
beauty,
has more to do with grace than beauty. Elegance has to do with grace, not beauty.
It does beauty as well.
Grace is beautiful. Listen, grace is beautiful. That's what it is.
It's It says it has beauty in the
in the synonyms.
Words, kid?
No, wait. Did you say it has beauty in the definition when actually what you meant was that? Well, no, but what you meant was that beauty is a synonym.
It has beauty in the definition of elegant.
It said like graceful.
Refinement, grace, and beauty.
Yeah, so is that all three of them?
Appearance.
Is that all three of them? So is that 5 or 6 of them? How many of them?
I'll say it again. Refinement, grace,
I asked you to count them,
and beauty,
count
and
them.
movement, appearance, or matters.
Count them.
That's the definition.
Count them.
How many is there?
How many what?
How many fucking words?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 words.
So now let's do an exercise. All right. How many necessary conditions are there for what was it? Eloquence? Was that it? No, it wasn't quite that.
Elegant.
What?
Elegance. That's right. Yeah. How many necessary conditions are there?
For something to be elegant?
Correct.
It says beautiful, refined. Let me go back to the definition.
You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. I asked how many necessary conditions are there?
I don't know.
I know you don't.
Like, what are you getting at? You're trying like.
Does anybody else know what I'm getting at with that question?
No, I don't. Like, what are you getting at?
I didn't ask you.
I just jumped in, but I think I might know.
Yeah, let's hear it. Give it a shot.
Wait, hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
What does an object have to be qualified for to be considered elegant?
Yes, that's basically the question. I don't think that he understands the difference between.
It's based on. I mean, I just read you the definition.
Dude, do you know what the difference is between a consequence and a condition?
I just said beauty. I said something.
Oh my fucking god! You have this horrible. You have this really horrible habit. Listen, you have this really horrible habit of continuing to say the thing you think is right without listening.
It's not what I think. It's what the definition says.
No, you don't know what. Shut the fuck up!
You're a retard, kid.
What is the difference between a consequence and a condition?
How is that even relevant to what I'm saying about
Oh my god! Did you just ask that?
I said in the definition it says what I said.
You said how is it relevant, right?
You said it didn't.
Yeah. I'll tell you how it's relevant. It's relevant because some of the things in the definition are consequences of its conditions, and some of them are conditions which are necessary in order to satisfy the trait.
And God doesn't exist.
So, I'm asking you, how many necessary conditions are there to satisfy the trait?
For something to be elegant?
Correct. Yeah. What are the basic?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, give me a guess. You read me out like 8 or 9 words, right? It's not all of them. I'm telling you now. It's not all of them.
Yeah, that's what the definition says.
Holy shit. No shit. Work with the definition. Try to reduce it down to as few words as you can and just give me those.
It says refinement.
Oh fuck!
Grace.
We know what it
He's
says.
gonna read
And beauty.
them all out
I'm
again.
telling you, these are the 3 words that it says.
So refinement, grace, and beauty.
Something must be to be elegant.
Is that those the necessary conditions?
Yeah, refinement, beauty.
No. Yeah, no, that's no. Order is necessarily a condition of elegance. No, to have elegance, you have to have order. It has to be structured in a coherent way.
I mean, are you making your own definition?
No, I'm saying everything that you can think of which can be called elegant has an order to it.
So does God.
That's not the point. The point is, I'm pointing out to you.
That's what the whole conversation
Shut
is leading
the
back
fuck
to.
up! I'm
Is leading
pointing
back to
out
God.
to you. Oh, fucking hell. I'm pointing out to you that your 3 words did not appropriately capture another necessary condition of the thing you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Order. Order is a necessary condition of elegance.
Okay.
You didn't mention it.
Yeah, I read from the definition.
Oh, fuck. It's like talking
Are
to
you a
brick wall.
Bible thumper? What kind of Christian are you?
I mean, I read you the literal definition.
I know,
Dude,
but
what
you
kind of
seem to be
disagreeing with the
completely...
definition.
You seem to be completely unfamiliar with the dialectic.
I mean,
Like,
no, I
you've
mean,
got no idea
that's how we use elegant, and I mean, that's the definition.
What's the dialectic?
The meaning of the words?
I rest my case.
I mean, you didn't prove it. You didn't prove anything.
That's it, dude. I did prove it. The fact that you just said the meaning of the words to my question about the dialectic.
No, you're asking me.
Dude,
No,
listen,
like
shut the fuck up. I demonstrated
you just
that
said,
you...
what does elegant mean?
No, I didn't.
I said beauty. And you said, no, it does not,
Stop.
man. No, it does not. It does not mean that. It doesn't mean that. And I just went to Google, and I Googled it.
Dude,
and I
let me
showed
tell
you.
Let me tell
And
you
now
what
you're
I
saying I'm wrong.
Are you talking about Hegel's dialectic?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but I mean dialectic in the broader sense as in the method of philosophy. But yeah, of course. Like Hegel synthesized a summary of it, but I don't think that he invented the method, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that method was in use long before Hegel came along to talk about it, dude. What was I saying? Yeah, so the thing that I demonstrated to you, just to be clear, is I asked you what the method for argumentation was, and your response demonstrated to me very clearly that trying to have this sort of argument with you is going to be a waste of my time because you don't know what the rules are.
I haven't studied philosophy. I haven't.
I know. It's very clear to me.
I mean, even if I didn't have a discussion, I would tell you that. I didn't.
Dude, you don't. You shouldn't be trying to argue with people who do know the rules when you don't.
I mean, I just proved you wrong, though. I'm just gonna.
No, you fucking didn't.
Yes, I did. You just said that beauty.
Wait a minute. Everybody else in the chat. Shut the fuck up. Did anybody else in this chat?
I see beauty in the word. I see beauty in the definition.
Did anybody else in this chat hear him disprove me?
Like, it doesn't make any sense what you're saying.
Did anybody hear him disprove me?
It doesn't make any sense what you're saying.
That's a supposition.
Do you get it? Do you get what you just said though?
That's a supposition.
You said beauty does not exist
Shut
in
the
the
fuck
definition.
up.
You keep
Do you
saying
know
shut the
what-
fuck up because
Do you
I'm
know
right.
what a fallacy of repetition is?
You said beauty doesn't exist in the definition, and I go Google it, and
All
it
you
doesn't,
do is
Yo,
repeat
King William.
yourself.
because you're not getting it.
King William, listen. Your God does not exist. It's a stupid story. It's a story you believe because you lack articulation of the word.
I mean, if that's what you believe, okay.
No, it's not an opinion. Just listen up, okay?
I mean, it is.
Epistemology.
Yes, it's both an opinion and a
You're
fact.
assuming that it doesn't exist. There's nothing
Your
on proven evidence.
Okay, I'm proving it. Your epistemology is a set of tools you use to decipher reality, okay?
Mhm.
And
That
if your
my reasoning for believing in God.
reasoning skills-
No,
But
your epistemology is how you understand the process of reasoning, what you think truth means, what it means to say, I believe X, what it means to say, X is a justified conclusion. You know none of these.
I
yeah,
would
like
agree.
if you don't have it's really intuitive for people who do not know the rule, like who do not know epistemology, to have an intuitive idea that is wrong about reality. Because they can't deduce reality as efficiently, so they think, oh, God must be real, you know? It's futile, dude. It's weak.
So weak ass shit.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Yes, but why do you still claim there is a God? Like, what is
Nothing you
Because
said.
he likes his weak ass shit, bro.
Nothing you said. I disagree with.
But what is the basis of your belief?
I said logical arguments and prophecies being fulfilled.
But how do you come to a logical conclusion? Wait, prophecies being fulfilled.
That's it,
Could you
man.
name-
Yeah, prophecies.
No,
you
that's
name
not all.
one of
It's,
the
I mean, when I argue the existence of God, I never use the Bible. I don't even bring up the Bible.
Hey, dude. You shouldn't be arguing anything until you know what it means to say that something is true. You just shouldn't be.
Well, I do, and I know what
Yeah,
it
but
means.
you
Something to be
shouldn't
true.
be. It's super
wait,
obnoxious
wait.
of you.
You said
You've been
prophecy.
yelling the whole time and raging. I don't think you.
Oh, that's because you're
I don't think
so
you should argue at all.
obnoxious.
I don't think you should argue at all. Really,
It's cool.
you have a mental problem.
It's cool, guys. So, like, you think prophecies came true? Could you list one?
Yeah. It's Jesus was prophesied,
Yeah.
and historically we know Jesus did exist, and he came to fulfill it. He came to fulfill in the New Testament.
Dude, those are just stories people can lie to you about. Do you have any concrete evidence?
Historically speaking, Jesus did exist.
Don't historically speaking me, bro.
That's my evidence. That's
Like, your
This
historians
is
are
fucking
bullshit.
gold, man.
my
Okay,
historians.
you're
are
saying
what?
Jesus exists. A lot of people are named Jesus. So
The one Jesus that we refer to in the Bible did exist.
Okay, how do you
so
know?
a
historians-
person existed in the Bible. How does that prove the existence of God?
Dude, no, that's it. That's QED, God.
You said what?
How do you know your God is the right one? Why isn't the God of the Quran the right one?
I would
Yeah,
say
the God
that
of
all the
Quran,
religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity they're all Abrahamic, but fundamentally speaking, they're different.
Yes.
I would say that the God of the Quran, what they believe in the Tawhid, which means oneness, which means one God, and they believe that the Christian God, which we believe, is that, or we believe that God is there's one God, but revealed to us in three different persons.
Yeah.
Our God.
That seems contradictory.
Our God, their God, is different. Judaism, what they believe, the Jews, they believe that the Messiah, Jesus, he was just a prophet. You know, they don't make him a deity. They don't put.
Yeah, so does the Islam guys. They think
And
Jesus
yeah,
was a
same as
prophet.
yeah. They don't put him. They don't put him.
So why do you think your one is the right one?
Well, I think. Well, we can examine. I mean, I've had this debate that
Because
Islam.
my defenses.
I don't believe that it's the word of God.
Okay,
I believe that.
how do you overcome your cognitive dissonance and your confirmation bias?
Say that again.
How do you overcome your cognitive dissonance and your confirmation bias?
I have bias.
Are you just learning of this now?
No, I've heard of it, but I mean, I'm listening.
Did you take psych? Did you take psych?
Like a confirmation bias is whatever you know. Whatever
A confirmation bias is the idea that you look for evidence that
Wait,
will
hold on.
support
Let me mute this one guy. Hold on, and let me listen.
Oh, dude.
King Williams.
Alright.
How do you know for certain?
Because I want to have a. I'm trying to have a serious discussion before, but I'm listening.
Someone should instruct this guy
I
how
had
to
to
fix
mute
his
that guy.
mic.
Okay, so the likelihood that you were just born under the right circumstances to believe in this God and where you live are very low. It just kind of happened. If you were born somewhere else, you might as well be believing in somewhere else. Like you could believe in the Buddha or Hare Krishna. Or
no, my family on my mom's side they're all Muslims. On my dad's side they're all atheists.
Mm-hmm.
So I was the odd one.
You're Christian?
I was the odd one.
Bro.
Well, yeah, my mom is she was Muslim, like she grew up Muslim, but she rejected the beliefs of Islam like later in her life. And then she became a Christian. And then my dad has always been atheist. He's never believed in anything.
Yo, your dad sounds smart, dude. You should listen to him.
So your mother's a Christian.
Yeah, she became Christian later in life, yeah.
I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you later.
But I never never
I
celebrated
want to come back to a fat recording.
Easter or anything like that.
And like instruct him how to fix his mic if you can. If you guys know. You go into audio settings and you turn off the automatically determine input sensitivity. That's what you need to tell him to do.
Okay.
A blocky.
Oh.
Yo, why am I being violent, bro? I thought I was being moved. Anyway, your God doesn't exist, though.
I mean, there's no evidence to prove that he doesn't.
There's no evidence to prove that it does.
Exactly. So we're at a standoff.
And plus,
So,
it's highly unlikely.
That doesn't help you, King. That doesn't help your argument.
I'm not preaching. I'm not going around and, hey, believe in God. I'm not doing that.
No, that doesn't
I would
help
agree.
you in believing God.
What was that?
That doesn't help you in believing God.
That there's evidence against him?
That there's no evidence at all.
I mean, everything that we have, I would agree. That is our evidence by faith. That's what we believe, but it's not concrete evidence. I would agree.
But you just said there was no evidence for him, though.
No, I'm saying there's no concrete evidence. Like there's evidence. There's nothing that we can test or we can say like, hey, here's proof of God. Like I can prove it to you. It's all based on the faith.
Okay. Why don't you have faith in something else then?
That God doesn't exist?
No, it doesn't even have to be about God. Why don't you just have blind faith in something else?
Like what?
It could be anything. It could be that like there are, I don't know, there's like lizard people or there's aliens or
Why don't I believe in aliens or
yeah, why don't you believe in why not? Aliens are not a good example, sorry. It just could be anything.
Well, I would say I'll use lizard people. I would it's not that I don't believe. Or okay, let me put it to you like this. With lizard people, no, I wouldn't believe it because it would directly contradict the Bible, or what I would believe, what I know in the.
Okay, but your Bible doesn't have any evidence for it either.
For what?
You just said there was no evidence for it.
For God, I'm saying there's no evidence for God.
I'm not arguing that the Bible exists.
I mean, the Bible can be seen as a historical document too. You know, aside from the story, the people in the Bible, the events, you know, it actually did happen. You know.
Okay, but why don't you have faith in anything else?
I do. I have faith in the government.
Well, you see that working. I'm talking about blind faith, or like pure faith, and like some other like I don't know. It could be like Norse mythology or something.
I think you're asking me why am I 100% certain in God and I'm not 100% certain in other things.
No, I'm not saying that you're certain at all. That's not what I was trying to say. I know from what you've told me is that you have faith in God and that there's no direct evidence for him. So I'm asking, why don't you believe in anything else that doesn't have direct evidence?
Like lizard people? Or like, I don't know, like it depends on what you're
Wait, so
I
God
don't
doesn't
think it
exist?
depends on it.
Wait, so God doesn't exist?
it depends on like what you're referring to, because I don't know.
It could be like
I said,
another mythology, another like Norse god or something.
Like Odin or something,
Yeah.
or mythology. The reason why, because go ahead.
No. I wasn't speaking.
Okay, the reason why is because those stories like Odin or Zeus or Poseidon, the events, it never happened. Like it never took place.
Global flood didn't happen.
And we know that in the Bible, in the places and the people were actually real. Like, you know,
That's not
I can
true.
give you an example.
Mount Olympus exists, bro.
It says that
Mount Olympus exists.
It
Yeah,
says
why not
that
like the Greek god or the Buddha or like
or the what god?
why not the Buddha?
Well, the Buddha. I don't even know if the Buddha actually.
Yeah, he did exist.
That I don't know. But
His
if I
name
would
was
go ahead and
Siddhartha.
say, yeah, Buddha, he actually did exist, which I'm unsure because, you know,
No, he did. He did. His name was Siddhartha, and then he became the Buddha.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen evidence against his existence. Same with.
Against his he.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Oh
I have.
my.
I'm not. Bro. Listen. What I'm saying to you is nothing like.
Oh,
I'm
I
saying that
understand.
this is what I've seen. This is
You
what I
have
read. So
faith.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, well, he did.
I mean, if we were 100% certain, I mean, there would be no evidence against him.
No, but why don't you have faith in him?
Dude, do you think there can be contradictory evidence?
Oh yeah, I believe that.
You think there can be contradictory evidence?
Yeah, I believe evidence can contradict itself. Yeah.
Yo, somebody get InSync in here.
He's not here.
But like I said, all of the.
I'm asking. Here, I'll show you. Where should I post this? Main. Okay, here's Siddhartha. This was a real person, the founder of Buddhism.
There's a
Do you see?
Let me see. Hold on.
Okay.
Where'd you post it?
In Maine.
Let me see.
What's up? He muted me, dude. He won't even be able to hear me.
So King William.
Wait. I really want to get to the bottom of this first.
King William, could you elaborate on how you think contradictory evidence is plausible?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I want to talk to him about this first. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a little pushy.
Dude, InSync.
Hasn't he got me muted, dude?
Yo,
Also
King William, did you mute him? So is that guy AFK?
Okay, yeah. There's a. Let me link you something.
King William, unmute InSync.
I know the main reason why historians reject, or some people he existed, is because of the oral traditions, or how information was passed, or how his teachings were passed down.
Dude. Can he, King William? Could you please elaborate on the conflicting evidence thing, please? King William. Can there be contradictory evidence? Yo, King William. Yo, has this guy got me muted?
Nah, dude. I think he just really, really doesn't want to be pinned down on that. I'm pretty sure he's just ignoring you.
He just fucking said he believes in contradictory evidence.
Yeah, I'm sure he's realized now what a stupid thing that was to say, so he's refusing to engage with you on it.
King William. So what I'm trying to get at here is that
Wait,
you
did
have
he mute everybody?
faith in your God, but you don't have any faith in the Buddha, who also lived and existed. Yes,
Yeah, I'm gonna post you this in the
Dude, King William, can you hear me?
In the debate voice text.
Can you hear me? Yo, King William. Yo. Dude, you can't just mute someone in the Colosseum. You do know the rules, right?
I don't think he cares, dude.
Are you gonna be posting it in Maine?
Dude, hey.
No, I posted it in the voice text.
Hey, VUV.
Could you tell him that it's against the rules to mute people in the Colosseum? Could you tell him that, please?
Sorry, what'd you say?
It's against the rules to mute people in the Colosseum. Tell him that.
Hey, King Williams.
He can totally hear you, dude. He's just pretending he can't.
Yeah.
Man.
In voice text.
Like, there is no fucking way he would specifically refuse to answer VUV's calling his name that one time that he's trying to ask about the muting, right? He's doing it on purpose. He can totally hear you, Terrence. He hasn't got you muted. He's just ignoring you.
Damn.
He's a fucking pussy, dude. He doesn't want to be pressed on it.
The Christian Apologetics and Research Ministry.
Oh.
Why did you pull me back in here for this shit, Terrence?
Dude, I swear, he was going on that tangent, dude. He was
but he's not willing to defend it.
He says he was. He's like, oh, I do believe there are contradictory evidences in the world. And I'm like, okay, wait 1 second. I mean, I think you probably have the recording, but yeah.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I mean, he's not going to respond, though. You know that, right? He's too scared. He's got to
Sorry
run
to
away
get
with
you
his
back
tail
in
between
here.
his legs. Oh, good, dude.
Okay.
I was trying to fucking nap.
So,
Guys,
I mean,
I'm not.
this Christian ministry site.
I'm legit just not at all interested in what he has to say, so I'm gonna get out of here. See you guys
Oh
later.
wait, NSYNC. Oh come on.
What do you mean, dude? He's not even like he's got me muted.
I know, but maybe it's safe for the fun.
Yeah, but I'm tired, dude, and he's talking a lot of bullshit.
It's just that he doesn't have any faith in the Buddha, but he has faith in God.
Yeah, so school him on it, and I'll listen to it in the recording because I'm the one who edits them.
Mhm.
I'll be proud of you, my son.
Okay.
Catch you later, man.
Okay, so King Williams. Hello? King Williams, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
What is this server ran by like a bunch of like what is wrong with these people?
I don't think they don't see your logic as sound.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like who runs this server? Like what is? I just joined today.
Who?
Yeah, like
Achilles. He's the owner.
because I'm in a few debates.
Okay. Well, I don't understand the discrimination between the Buddha and the Christian and Christianity.
I don't discriminate. I don't have.
Well, yeah, you are though,
How?
because you're choosing to believe in Christianity and not Buddhism.
Buddhism isn't compatible with the belief in a personal God.
So why don't you just switch over? It requires the same faith.
No, because as I said, historically speaking, Buddha didn't really happen. And when you weigh the historical evidence in Buddhism and Christianity heavily outfavors any religion, and the Bible heavily outfavors any other book of antiquity as far as historical documents go. Like I can ask you the same. I'm going to answer your question, but why do you believe in Homer or the Odyssey? Or why do you believe in books of antiquity? Or like I don't know if you remember, but in history class, I don't know, you're learning about the Roman Empire, and he or she says, "But we just don't know." Well,
Okay.
in the Bible, there's more evidence.
So why not Islam?
Huh?
So why not Islam?
Islam, no, because historically, because what we know from Islam only comes from the Islamic sources, which we only can take with a pinch of salt, only a grain of salt. Like we can't really trust it, because think about it. If I'm
shit,
Muhammad
we're still here, bro.
and
Can you hear me? Can you
and I
hear
own,
me?
at the time of like 650, I own Damascus, I own Cairo, I own Alexandria, I
Could you
own
ask him if
Petra,
he can hear me?
Basra, Baghdad, all these cities. And there's, come 1400 years later until now, there's no evidence of anything that I did or I said. And the only evidence we have is from the Islamic sources. That's bad.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you need just documents?
No, what I'm saying is that I need, if the hadiths, which are the the biography of, like, this is what he did, like, this is what he said, this is what he. If this stuff actually happened, where's the proof of it happening outside of the Islamic sources? Like, what other sources do we have? And a lot of the history we just don't know. Like, we don't know. You know, the Quran was compiled 200 to 300 years after Muhammad. The Bible started to be compiled. You know, Jesus dies in year 33. The Bible starts to be put together 15 years after he died, within 15 to 60 years.
Okay, so you're thinking that only time has bearings on validity.
No, not time, how it was passed. The tradition it's a difference in all the books. Like, the Quran was orally transmitted. It was reliable. It was relied on memory of 4 men. My fucking mic. Who wrote it during the time of Uthman, and Uthman had to get it right. You know, it's relying on him getting it right from the originals, which he destroyed the originals. Whereas the Bible was freely transmitted between a controlled transmission and freely transmitted text.
Okay,
you know,
but
it's like, for example, the U.S. government wrote my Bible, and like they controlled it. They said what went in, what went out.
They controlled your Bible?
No, I'm saying that's what I don't know if you know the history of it, but I'm not going to explain it all. But essentially, when Muhammad died, there was no Quran. It was written on animal skin, parts of it, animal skin, bone, parchment, leaves, and other stuff like clothing, I think, and another material. And a lot of the people who memorized, they were fighting at a battle called Yamama, and that's the actual name of the battle. And Muhammad's father-in-law, Uthman, he wanted to make the Quran one, like get the Quran together before it was forgotten, before the knowledge was forgotten. And so he got 4 reciters to recite the Quran. To write the Quran down in the Qurayshi dialect. And at the time, there was only one person who knew. It was like, I can't remember the name of the surah, and there was 116 chapters in that Quran. And the Quran we have today has 114 chapters, 114 surahs. And he also ordered the originals to be burned. So what that relies on is the government, the Caliph, Uthman, he had to get it right. The reciters had to get it right. That's the first one. And that you have nothing to base it off. Like, if you destroyed the originals, the only thing you're basing it off of his Quran, and it relies on him being right. Whereas in the Bible, we have a freely transmitted text where the text was papers were circulated. So if someone said, God is this, and it contradicted what the original said or other people had in their possession, we know who's right. We know who. Like, we have the Gospel of Thomas. The Gospel of Thomas wasn't added to the Bible. There's agnosticism that wasn't added to the Bible. So that's the difference. And with Judaism, they follow the first books of the Bible. That's what they follow. But
so why aren't you Jewish?
What was that?
Why aren't you Jewish?
Well, because Jew would have meant Jew meant tribe of Judea during the time of the Old Testament. And the reason why I'm not Jewish today is because they reject that Jesus was the Messiah, and there's a lot of mysticism in Judaism. They believe in different stuff in Judaism, and also because the people in Israel.
Okay, but here's the thing: is that you say that there's no direct evidence for God,
right?
But you still have faith in Him.
Well, he got everybody to join the server to put their.
Do you have faith in Him?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, And then you're also saying that all of these other things don't have direct evidence. But what I'm saying is, why don't you believe in them? Because it
doesn't have direct evidence to what they claim about God. That's the difference. We all believe in God, but they don't have
No, this guy.
Never
This
mind.
guy
Never
claims
mind.
to believe in
Achilles, abort. I don't
contradictory
care about this
evidence.
anymore.
This guy believes in contradictory evidence, guys.
It's you still need the same blind faith from it.
The difference is that all of these religions, we all have this blind faith. We all believe that God exists, but the difference is the nature of God and what we what we preach, the teaching. Primarily it's surrounding Jesus. Because I would say this. I would say this, and I'm just saying it. People would say that, okay, you would say, God doesn't exist. God is this. God doesn't exist. And people may argue. I'm not arguing that, but I'm just fuck my mic. I'm presenting the argument to you is that people say that Jesus, God, that's Jesus, but he came down. He came down in the flesh. So people may argue that, yes, God is here because he came in the flesh. But again, is there any like concrete evidence for that? I mean, there's proof that Jesus did it.
Okay, there's proof that a lot of people existed within religions.
I mean, is there proof to the miracles? I don't know.
But it needs the same blind faith.
It's the difference in other religions is that they don't have all the evidence. Like no religion does.
Wait,
okay, how about
wait, hang on, wait. I just joined, but I thought there wasn't evidence for your position either.
What was that?
I thought you said there wasn't evidence for your position either.
No, I'm saying there's no evidence. He's saying that I don't to prove that God exists. And I would agree with that. I said, yes, I don't. And there's no evidence to disprove God. But I'm saying that as far as what we have in the Bible, compared to the Quran, compared to the Talmud, to the Torah, for all that, well, the Torah encompasses the Bible, but the Talmud and the Zohar and all these other shit, the evidence of the Bible heavily outweighs all the other books.
Wait, have you read these books?
Yes, I own a Quran.
Oh, okay. I haven't, so I might be a little behind. What evidence are you referring to?
We can examine Jesus to Muhammad. Everything we have, historically speaking, about, or everything we know about Islam, Muhammad, and the Quran is all based on Islamic sources. We have we don't have any non-Islamic sources. We do. We have Roman historians writing about Jesus, writing about, what took place in the New Testament. If we examine, I don't know, I can say the actions of Muhammad. Like I don't remember exactly word for word, but apparently he took a trip to Mecca on a donkey. It's called his night journey. We have no evidence that actually happened. And you could argue that we don't have any evidence.
I don't know. I feel like, you're not wrong, but I feel like, we can examine like historical accounts or Roman accounts of like Christ figures. But like if we examine like every one of Christ's parables or every one of the stories in the Bible, you're not going to find a like one-to-one correspondence between that and then like some Roman guy writing about it.
What do you mean?
It's like you said, okay, so Muhammad, we agree that Muhammad existed, right, as a historical figure?
Yeah, I would say he existed.
I'd argue there's
and therefore God
more,
doesn't exist.
There's maybe more evidence for that. I don't know. Just because it was more recent. But it's like you said, okay, he took a trip on a donkey, and we don't know, like we don't have other sources confirming that. And as far as I know, sure, that might be true, but we don't have other sources confirming like every one of Jesus's expeditions or like encounters.
Well, we have primaries. My fucking mic.
Yeah, sorry. I think
Turtle Beach. I use it for Xbox and I use it for this, but like I don't know why it doesn't want to work. I'm saying that for Jesus we have primary sources. The authors of the Bible, the New Testament, were at the time, like they were with Jesus.
They were what?
They were with Jesus. They were eyewitnesses. All these people were eyewitnesses, like I said, except for.
Wait, how do you know that though? Like what? Because earlier you called into question the legitimacy of like the shit that happened in the Quran.
Yeah, it requires the same blind faith. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, yeah, so it's like because you're saying like, oh, we don't have non-Islamic sources, but these first-hand accounts, these are, I mean, Christianity didn't really exist as a religion at this point, right? It wasn't called Christianity, but I mean, if you put these people in the modern day, they would be.
Christian, no, it did exist. No, it did exist.
Did it?
Christianity did exist.
Like
okay, if all you're going for is
I don't know that that's true.
Oh, it did. Muhammad, you can look in the.
Oh, in Muhammad's time, absolutely. I'm talking about when Jesus was like, I mean, before the crucifixion. Like before the crucifixion, like half of, I don't know, like I don't see how Christianity could exist.
Well, I would say that Christianity, as like the prophecy either in the New Testament hasn't been fulfilled.
I'll be right back.
The God of the Old Testament was primarily dealing with the people of Israel. Primarily, that's not all. And we have the creation story and et cetera, et cetera. But the New Testament, what we have, no, the people during the New Testament did not. They were not there when the prophecy was fulfilled. You're right. They were not.
Well, not even that. I'm just saying, like, so earlier you said, hey, like all these things about Muhammad, all the accounts, they're all Islamic sources. So that calls them into question, right? Because of a potential bias. But I'm asking why you don't hold like the first-hand accounts of Jesus's miracles to the same standard.
I do. I said there are, like during, like when he lived, and there's no historian that I haven't found would say that like Jesus didn't exist or what he said didn't. Like a really famous one, skeptic of the Old Testament is Bert Ehrman. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No, I don't think so.
He's probably one of the most famous atheists, and debating in the New Testament. He has a lot of criticisms about the Bible. Surprised you haven't heard of him. And he says that in the New Testament, a lot of the actually no. Let me link you. Let me link you I can link you some of his stuff, but he basically had the same opinion as you about the history of Jesus, and he's someone who's like, he's well known in debating this.
Well, wait, I don't even like. I'm kind of agnostic on Jesus as a historical figure. I mean, really? I've talked to history professors about this, or I did in my undergrad, and they were also, I don't know. There were like certain, basic facts that could say, yeah, this is probably something that happened. But what I was asking about was like, because you brought up the example of like Muhammad's trip to Mecca, and our lack of like non-Islamic sources confirming it. I mean, there, like for any particular story in the Bible, you're going to have a very hard time finding like non-Christian sources or authorities backing this up.
As far as Jesus is concerned, I don't think so. As far as the Old Testament, I mean, as far as like,
no, as far as the New Testament.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like as far as like the Revelations or anything of that nature. You're right.
You think God created?
I don't have perfect evidence of that.
But I would say God created chickens.
I mean, I kind of agree. Like as far as theology, I really can't put my opinion more to theirs.
But
as far as theology, but what I can argue from, I can argue from history.
Well, I guess I'm failing to see the distinction between history and evidence, right? It seems like you're pointing to historical evidence now.
Yeah, I am. That's what I've been saying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so it seems like you are trying to make the case that you can put your position above theirs.
As far as history is concerned, of what the Bible says and how we weigh it to what actually happened in history.
So I don't know. I mean, like, so if we look at like, any snippet in the New Testament, like we can look at like, I don't know, like the parable of the sower,
the fig. Oh, okay.
Or anything like that. I just picked that off the top of my head. Like we can't necessarily find like other accounts of this happening, or like there wasn't just like a centurion sitting there that then wrote his own document about this.
You're right.
So then
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Okay, yeah. So it seems like the criticism you levied at like Muhammad's trip to Mecca, I just don't see how it was relevant.
Well, no, as not even just that. I'm saying we know, historically speaking, doesn't add up to what most of what the Quran says, if not all. Not even the Quran. We can forget the Quran. What about the Hadiths? The Hadiths are supposed to be a biography of his life and his actions. And these are like scholars. These are Islamic scholars. Are fabrications, and we can throw it out.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Can you say your God created chickens?
But what we know from the Hadiths and what actually happened in history, isn't true. I don't remember exactly the date or the verse, but when Islam was supposed to capture Jerusalem. And I know the Quran says one date, and history says another date. Whereas when we examine, have you heard of the criterion of embarrassment?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, basically, all of the this is not what I say. This is from. They basically view the crucifixion of Jesus as historical fact based on the criterion of embarrassment, which means that, for an example, Christians would have not invented the painful death of their leader because it wouldn't make sense. And it's criterion citation, which is a confirmation by more than one criterion of coherence that fits it fits with other historical elements, and criterion of rejection that is not disputed by any ancient source. And all these criterions help establish the crucifixion of Jesus as an historical event. And they refer to Joseph and Tacitus. These are two non-Christian sources that attest to what happened. And they weigh it to what the Bible says, and it matches. Historically
hang
speaking,
on, wait, what were these? Sorry, I lost track for a second. Who were these sources?
yeah, it's a. I think the one is Jewish. It's Josephus. Here, I'll type it to you. Let me. If you go to main, I'll type it. Let me see. What time is it?
Josephus on Jesus?
I typed it, the names in main.
No, I think I remembered actually reading about this.
Yeah, so
wait, hang on. When was this written? I thought this was written sometime after.
When was what written?
Josephus, is it Antiquities of the Jews?
He's a he writes that. I don't know. I don't know actually when that was written.
Okay.
But he writes, I know he writes about Jesus and of Christianity.
Give brief accounts. I don't know. This just seems like someone who wasn't a Christian wrote something in like 94 AD. I don't know.
King Williams.
Let's see. General scholarly view. Well, the testimony is most likely not authentic in its entirety. It is broadly agreed upon that it originally consisted of an authentic nucleus, which was then subject to... Okay. Seems like there's a lot of people that... I don't know. The consensus doesn't seem to be that this is a holistically authentic work.
Historians agree that the crucifixion was an action event, and it actually happened. Like that's generally agreed upon.
I'm trying to see if I can confirm that. Like, I've never seen like a poll of historians or something.
Well, a lot of them do agree. Like Bert Ehrman, you should probably look him up.
I mean, some do for sure. I could even see a majority of people. Like, I just don't know. In my personal experience, it's been mixed, but I'd rather have like a piece of evidence that there's a consensus on this.
Yeah. Generally, it's based on the assumption that wouldn't have deliberately gone out of his way historical material because it will embarrass like the author. or weaken the position that it has.
Okay. Actually, yeah, it looks like of the people who, yeah, it looks like most historians do believe that there was a crucifixion, which doesn't surprise me. I would be inclined to believe that too.
Is this about if there's a God or if there's Jesus?
Also, I don't know. I mean, like, so Greek and Roman authors do mention Jesus, but
I don't know. I had
not in the first.
Sorry to cut you off, but I had. Fucking Mike, I had muted that. It seems like they're here to like ridicule. Like I had to mute that guy. Like they don't want an honest discussion.
Yeah, I don't think any Roman authors wrote about Jesus in the 1st century.
Historians?
Like there were no Roman authors writing about this. Like we don't have any Roman texts about this figure from the 1st century. We have Josephus, or not Josephus.
I don't think that proves the existence of God, though.
Well, no, but we're just talking about like historical.
No, it's this whole argument about God, man. It's just wait till the end. I mean, if you don't believe there's a God, it doesn't even matter. Like wait till the end.
Yeah, I mean, Josephus is one of the only people.
Wait, are you saying it doesn't matter?
Sure.
To you, to me, I mean, believing it to me, it does.
It totally matters, even if I don't.
I guess.
What do you mean you guess? It totally does.
Because to most atheists, it's like a non-issue. Like we're just creatures, just to.
I mean, it would be a big issue to me, but I just don't see like
it's a freaking huge issue because people impose it on others and try to say this is what's right, this is what's wrong. Let me control your life.
It's up to you to. It's up to you to agree or disagree. And
yeah, and if you disagree, you'll be freaking stoned to death.
I mean, I mean, Muslims are doing that.
Exactly.
That's a problem with Islam.
Yeah, it's a freaking problem with all religions because the Bible preaches about freaking like love thy neighbor. Oh, but also if you're this way, yeah, you're dead.
So is that the fault of the Bible or the person?
Don't you believe in the Bible?
Yes, I do, but that's two different contexts.
Well, they're dumb enough to follow that kind of rule.
You're spitting out two different things. It doesn't even correlate.
I think the problem is that the text is so open-ended. You can kind of twist it and stretch it to fit like almost anything.
Well, no, a lot of the God of the Old Testament or what the Old Testament says is not for the us today. Where it doesn't bound us today. Now, not to say the Old Testament. Yes, they are. But as far as like, the Bible says that people who worship idols should be slain, or you couldn't wear color fabric or something like that in the Old Testament. All that stuff isn't relevant to us today. The reason why
even like just thinking about it though, the fact that this ever applied to anyone seems absurd.
I mean, in God's eyes, and that's what.
Oh, can you say that again? I think you cut out.
I said, in God's eyes, He ordained for the people of Israel was righteous, and that's what I'm not here to preach, but that's
why would these like weird draconian rules apply to anyone ever?
because that's what God said.
Okay, so like if these rules applied to us now, then it seems like you could just make the same argument.
Well, morality in the I mean, we follow these rules today in a way.
Not really, no. I don't we don't.
I mean, murder isn't legal.
But like, so some of the rules, sure, but other rules we don't.
Yeah, I'm saying that but some of the rules that were for the people of Israel, even as Christians today, because it says that we're on the.
Yeah, but those rules don't really stem from.
Those rules were like horrible. Like, why would they ever exist, right? Just because they existed to a different group of people or in the past doesn't make them any less like morally abhorrent by today's standards.
I mean, like I said, what did and what God ordained in the Old Testament was because the God of the Old Testament at that time, there were, for an example, homosexuality. I can say in Sodom and Gomorrah, about taxes and slavery and all that was relevant to the times. I mean, that was.
But like, why not just say like slavery is bad?
Oh yeah, we would agree now. But we're putting our own ideals of the 21st century and trying to apply it.
Yeah, thank God.
Well, no, I'm asking like, God. If God is like a superior moral agent, why didn't he apply it back then?
That is, he put law.
No, he didn't, because he didn't say slavery is bad.
He put law. No, I'm telling you, he put law in order. That's why we have 10 Commandments. That's why we have Mosaic. Like, this is what was going on in Israel, and this is what God said to do.
I'm asking, why would he say to do those things and not like something more straightforward, like just saying slavery is bad?
I don't know. I'm not God, but what I would say is that, like I said, what we believe that whatever God ordained at that time for the people of Israel was right, and I don't see what was wrong with that. Like,
well,
at that time, what's morally would have been different back then.
Well, I think the disconnect is that. So, it seems like I think most theists in general, actually not most theists, most Christians for sure, believe in an objective morality, right, ordained by God. There are right and wrong decisions with regards to, what we should do with regards to moral dilemmas. And it seems odd that like these would change, or that these would be not absolute when like there's no reason for them not to be.
Yeah, we believe in absolute, like it's bounding.
But like, if it's absolute,
it's not relative to the time period.
Well, yeah, exactly. It seems like it shouldn't be relative to the time period, but yet we have different rules for a particular group of people in a different time period than we do now. So if it's not unique to the time period,
no, the Old Testament was still bound, and those people, it wasn't difference. It wasn't a difference in like, as far as taxes as is concerned.
Wait, a difference in terms of what?
In terms of taxes is concerned.
Well, no, like what about slavery?
Or in terms of slavery, or in terms of anything like that. Like that was.
Yeah, or in terms of like killing people that worship false idols, like
that was the time period.
Right.
And I don't see morally that's acceptable.
Okay, but so I feel like I'm seeing a contradiction here, and maybe I'm just mistaken, because it seems like you don't see one. Because you say that, okay, so maybe we should type this in chat. We have there are moral truths, right? Like slavery is bad and you shouldn't do it. Right? Would we agree?
Right.
Okay, and this is true regardless of where you live, regardless of when you live, like at any point in history, anywhere in the world, this is bad, right?
Right.
Full stop. So why doesn't the Old Testament say it's bad?
God of the Old Testament, he wasn't the one who the people of Israel were the ones practicing these things, not God. God put law and order down.
Was the Old Testament not divinely inspired?
Yeah, it was.
So why wouldn't he include this?
About slavery?
Yeah.
I mean, why should he?
Because it's bad, and we just agreed that it's universally bad no matter where or when you live, and that people should not do it.
Yeah, and like I said, the laws and what was ordained for the people of Israel was specific to their time and to what they did.
So like laws ordained by a supreme power. I thought we said that these are unchanging, right? These like you don't like something is right for
it's a difference between laws for a certain group.
So does what
in
is
the Mosaic
right,
law?
Does what is right or I'm not talking about like local law. I'm talking about what is described in the Old Testament.
That's what I'm saying. That was local law. That was for them.
Yeah, largely, but not. So why wouldn't this be in the Old Testament?
Why wouldn't be in the Old Testament? Hold on 1 second.
Why would it be? I can tell you why it would be.
Bueno. ¿Estás comiendo?
No, I'm not eating. I just finished eating. I called you to know if you wanted to call me.
Ah, bueno, sí. Ya me voy.
You already showered?
Sí. Sí. Yeah. Espérame. Bye. Sí, ya me voy. ¿Qué estás comiendo?
No, what's happening here?
He's on the phone.
Taking a call. Yeah, we're waiting for that.
Oh, okay. I just got back from...
Bueno, espérame un ratito.
I memed Cross to hell.
Meme?
Yeah, I memed him to hell, dude. He stopped talking to me. I almost got him in that feedback loop again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're just dumb, dude. You're so stupid. What are you guys talking about in here, though?
Yo, Spider, I'm gonna be back on Discord. I have to go to my girlfriend's house.
Oh, okay. Take care.
But we can continue. Once I come back, I gotta take a shower and get dressed.
One question I would have, yeah.
All right, see ya.
Yeah, so what's the conversation on?
Well,
¿Estás listo? Listo.
Hey, King, you haven't disconnected your.
Let me run to the thing. Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Tavern 1, Stacy.
No, wait. Is Tavern 1 the one with nobody in it?
It's the one with nobody in it.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and join us in the Nameless Debates Discord. We hope to see you there.